Hello everyone, I'm Neverdot. Welcome to my channel. This is the final comic of last year. This was the New Year's comic, just before the end of 2020, when we didn't know what was going to happen. And now we absolutely, definitely, kind of, maybe do. I don't know. Seems like we didn't all die suddenly. So, great. This got Casper or Gerald? I don't know. Those two guys look identical, and I never know who it is until I finish. Casper's the more mature octopus. Gerald's the more immature one. I pick and choose depending on what's kind of talking they're doing. And this might be Brock or Jenny, I don't know. So anyways, in this comic, I wanted to have sort of an uncertain future. Because we didn't know what we were doing going from 2020 to 2021. It didn't look like previous years were all on the hopeful angle. And this year is like, I don't know what's going to happen, so let's just do this kind of like potential disaster comic. So some weird thing has launched itself out of nowhere into the ground. I'm going to draw snow again because it's still winter here. And we got, let's say it's Gerald and Brock. Gerald and Brock are going to investigate it. They're very surprised that something has plummeted out of the sky and plowed into the snow. And is this funny? Who knows? It wasn't making me laugh, but I just want to draw something cute and fun. So, whatever. They're going to poke you with a stick. I mean, that is obviously what you're going to want to do with any kind of weird technological thing that fell out of the sky. Jabba, jabba, jabba. That's what I would do. I mean, I might want to harvest the parts and reconstruct it and then use it to transport myself somewhere. Assuming it's a spaceship, which I don't think it is. But now let's get into it. We're going to do the thing where I do a lot of effort in the background and then copy paste it 4 times. As always, I have limited time to do the comic, so we definitely don't want to have to redo a complicated background 4 times. So I'm going to make it look nice. And here we have the no-line edges. So remember that TikTok, the thin lines TikTok? Yeah, you do. There's the no lines, right? So if you're doing backgrounds, often you don't have line edges. You've got your sketch layer, and then you just go right over top of it, and you do your shapes. So that's what the background here is. It looks more backgroundy, I guess, more scenery-like, because I don't want the cartoony look on backgrounds, obviously. And it's typically not. It looks too cartoony. Some styles it works well with, but I don't particularly want it for this. We're going to illustrate the town. The town is featured in my books. Kind of. Yeah, they are. I forget what it's called. Tibney or something like that. Town of Tibney. Anyways, they're overlooking it. I guess there's a hill range nearby. I got to go consult the map, actually. I drew a map in one of the books. I forget which one it is. Anyways, we're going to make it dark because it is nighttime. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to see the little buildings. And when I shrink this down for Instagram, I don't know if you're going to be able to see those windows. So probably not. They might be sub-pixel in size. This is drawn at a fairly high resolution. Not that high, but high. And yeah, if all those details are going to survive the transfer. So that's maybe more for my benefit than yours. But you can see it here. So enjoy. They are not saving energy. They're using it all up. But they're plants, so they might be just eating dinner. Now, Gerald is all wearing his hat. I never know what he's wearing in the winter, actually. Should he be wearing snow pants? I figure my rationalization is that he's an ocean creature, and the ocean is really cold, I assume. So he should be fine at like 0 degree. Isn't the ocean sub-zero often? Usually. It just can't freeze because it's, too high pressure? I should learn more science. Now, the device that has fallen, we don't know what it is, and I have never drawn it anywhere on my website and identified that it is this. Anyways, I'm not going to tell you guys what it is either. You have to figure it out. Comment below if you have any idea what it is. And then I will respond to you with a misleading answer. Because I can't let you know what this is. It's a secret. Now, it's going to be purple? Purple. Oh, I guess. It could be purple. But it's going to be a horribly ripped up, damaged thing. And I was a little bit worried about this being too violent looking, but it is a machine. If anybody has watched Transformers, that movie is very brutal if those robots weren't robots. But because they're robots, we can definitely abuse them as much as we want without feeling too bad. Hey, equal rights for machines? Oh, not yet, apparently. So this thing, I don't know why I'm making it so colorful, actually. Probably should be gray, but who's to judge? Like me, mostly. But anyways, the colors are going to get wiped out mostly by the darkness of the scene. So I think maybe that's more what I was thinking. And for this, I'm going to really enjoy the lighting effects. Now we are here. I had recently prior to this, I had been watching a loading artist drawing stream where he live streams his comic drawing. I can't imagine doing that because it would be stressful. But I did pick up a little idea from him where you can partially erase the glare on metal things, and it does make it look more shiny, which I'm very surprised by. I didn't consider that, but you're right. And really just look at references. If you want to make your stuff look more realistic, look at something that's real. Stop just trying to imagine it all the time. I did that a lot when I was younger or lazy, and it always never pays off. Whenever you look at the real thing, you don't have to copy it, but just at least be observing its properties and notice that, oh yeah, the glare fades off a bit at the bottom. Do that. It'll look so much better. It'll look so much more realistic. Now, I don't know where that glare is coming from because the light's on the other side, but well, just wanted the glare effect. And here we've got this one I really, really like. I like this whole comic, how it turned out. The shadows, the light shadows, because I'm just doing a spray and then screen or something, or hard lighting, but then using a transparency layer to erase, cut out the shadows. And then the shadow is just, it's not even a darker color, it's just what everything else is. So it looks like a shadow. It's just the lack of light. But it really came out well. It looks good. And I don't usually say that about my art. I don't usually like my art. I'm usually cringing at any previous work. But I like this one. This one turned out really, really well. I'm super impressed with 2020 December. Neverdot. He did a good job on this comic. So but it's all down. It's really the lighting effects give that good feel to it. It's just so much fun to play with light. I don't know. It just makes you look better than you are. It's not cheating. It's just has a nice look to it, and it gets me away from the hard shading that I always do. Hard shading I like it, and it looks good most of the time. But sometimes it's not appropriate. If you have a nice round object, really, you probably should go with the smoother shading, the spray shading. But I often don't like how the spray shading looks. If it's like a daylight scene, it just feels whatever. I used to think spray paint was like the coolest, most professional brush, and now it looks terrible. And I have seen bad quality children's books where an artist was clearly not paid very much to do their work, and they used the spray brush, digital spray brush, for all their art, and it was the most hideous thing I had ever seen. It's bad, and I was cringing because I knew that I had done that myself as well, thinking it was really cool and good. But no, don't. The spray, you got to use that intelligently and well and properly. Don't use it for general coloring and filling. It's difficult to do it well. So make sure you know what you're doing, because it's easy to do it amateurishly. Whereas other brushes aren't so susceptible to that. Here we're throwing in a weird vortex, and I'm kind of experimenting with how it should look. And also this ray is punching out. We're getting into the special effects of the scene here. So here I'm kind of playing around with how the layer blending is going together and how intense I want this blast to be. That's kind of interesting, but maybe a bit much. And it's not blending properly. Yeah, we want it to sort of go together, not overlay. So screen overlay modes, you want them to blend into each other for this. Whereas, so we're going to cut it down like that. We just want the impact site. And now I need to get sort of just the snow around it illuminated and not everything else. So I'm going to draw the snow pluming around the impact zone. Separate layer, group it, put on another same color darkness shading, and then just spray that edge, because I do want that edge to be soft. So that's a good place to use the digital spray brush that I just said was terrible. It has its uses. And then I put another identical bloom thing behind it. So this is layering. Get your layers in the right order. We've got back blow, beam, front blow of snow, and this. Love this. This is great. I like this. And then the little explodies. Again, the splatter rush that's got the little distortion thing to blast it out and give it some motion sense. And then we're going to light up our friends here. Again, adds so much more detail. And I really like when you spray it, give it all the light, and then cut out parts where the hard shadows would be coming in. And it just adds a lot of depth to it. You can see like his back leg has got a bit of a shadow from his front leg. And it's just, that has a good feel to it. It feels much more... Now, 3D. I like it. And so we're going to try to contain it in that frame. Then I've just discovered that there's a shortcut key to flip your whole canvas. I was very confused for a half second. Now, the rest of the scene, we're just going to light up their faces a little bit less intensely from the little, whatever that is, light. And then Gerald, he's just gonna give it a jab. Because, sticking things into things, you got to... It's what you do. It's just you see a thing, you gotta poke it. Adding our traditional Neverdot stars using my own Neverdot star brush. Then you just gotta fix up the stars because they're not. Some of them aren't right. Some of them are in the wrong position. The constellation has to be perfect. If you do it wrong, which I clearly have done because I just realized I didn't do this at the beginning, and now I have to copy and paste it all over manually and get it perfectly positioned in every single panel. Don't do that. Make sure you get all your stuff done before you copy and paste. You don't want to have a nightmare like this on your hands. That's a pain. Anyways, this is about done. I'm pulling down the brightness of the stars because I don't want them to draw too much attention, even if that's more realistic. I don't want the eye to be focused on them. That's the background. So make sure you don't conflict. You don't want things fighting for attention. So your primary subjects should be arguably a little bit more brighter than whatever. So thank you guys so much for joining me at the last comic of 2020, and I'm glad we all made it in 2021, as it were. So thank you guys for being with me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.